2, 1, go.
Hello and welcome to the Asteroid Belt. We are on Io this time, the distant moon of Jupiter, where power and fuel swings hard every time. We have Gameslayer, Ryak, FoxBlazing, and bobrooni for this match. I'm Lahi, and casting with me is Red Penguin. What do you think about this map?
It's an interesting one. There's double chem price and consumption in the colony. And carbon isn't abundant. There is a very high near like things you would want. There's some nearby oxygen, nearby basalt, nearby aluminum. I expect somewhere around here to be a nice found. There's also a high carbon near oxygen and basalt to the north. And both of these can probably make a strong chem play, which I expect to be a strong opener here. Other than that, since it's IO, we can probably expect some power plays to be strong too at some point.
Gameslayer, first founder in a basalt and oxygen tile. bobrooni following next on basalt and aluminum.
Oh wow!
Expensive, ryak is scientific.
So everybody found it over here. And Gameslayer gets the good carbon, so I wonder what everybody else will do for carbon here. There are 2 in the crater to the east. Otherwise, I would have really liked... Go ahead.
I like the ryak bought 127 carbon, just to secure cheap carbon.
Agreed. Because you know fuel will be extra important this time, because it's an input to the chem refineries. And let's see stockpiles. He's the only one who has bought it up. And it's extra good because it started at half price. I really like this play from Ryak. However, if we want to talk about founds a bit more, like why is Fox here? There's no point to founding here. Like, sure, he does have somewhat nearby aluminum, but you need oxygen. There was aluminum on the left side with some, well, I guess only double in oxygen, but I like it better.
Yeah, I think there will be some other good founds on the good or similar founds on the western side of the map.
I like the northern one most. Take double aluminum if you have to. Anyway, so there's a point to funding away from everybody else. Because people will notice what their neighbors are doing and use black market against them. But if one of these players found it on the left side, which in my it's equally as good, and you can get away without people watching you, so just less black market. Anyway, that's a found.
Meanwhile, being IO with 4 steel users, the power is rising really fast. It's already 120, and it's not going to stop until some 2 or more players get into power.
Yeah. And Gameslayer did a very brave, I guess, EMP on Ryak's Ion Collectors. Ryak hadn't placed his free goon yet. After the EMP, though, he does place the goon where Gameslayer used the EMP. But if you just swap the order on those, it would have been a disaster for Gameslayer. Ryak could have responded with the EMP on his Ion Collectors, and Ryak could have made all the money. Anyway, Fox going to double nuclear plant, and somebody was going to a geo. Yeah, bobrooni has a geo. That's a power situation right now. I like Fox position to make power money here.
Fox needs the goon that power though.
Oh yeah, he really needs a goon.
Oh, right at the moment.
Very nice play from Ryak.
Yeah.
Although
he propelled Fox the game with this power money.
He needs to make power himself though. Like you shut down power, but that only benefits if you're in power too. You should really try to do it quickly.
Yeah.
Okay, he understands that, and he places a remote nuclear plant on the uranium. Let's see, shouldn't other people be getting into power? bobrooni is expanding his power income. He had the geo, but it's not enough to make power money here. So he goes into 2 nuclear plants. This is also really strong. However, there's no goon here either. Instead, he mutinied the aluminum.
I don't like bobrooni's power placement because one circuit overload will attack the power and also attack the steel mill,
Yeah.
which will double the power consumption of all the steel mills.
Yeah, I agree with that. He's about to make power money now though, and it's a lot. It's $900 a second. He's a clear favorite from this point for like mid-game strength. But there he gets shut down by FoxBlazing. Yeah. So instead of upgrading, he really should have just committed to making the power plays work by placing them differently and gunning them. So like he had the right idea what to do, but he didn't execute it like he should have. Meanwhile, FoxBlazing has moved, so he used a lot of steel to scrap the circuit overloaded nuclear plants and move them to the other side. And he now has a lot of debt to work through. And then he gets hit again by bobrooni. Scraps again.
I think some players can scrap their steel mill and just get into chemical refinery, make money.
He also gets hit on the other side. And we see that ryak also got hit. There's a lot of hits on power right now. Oh, GameStar went into solar panels. He's selling the most power right now. Pleasure of auction? But look at the chem price, wow!
Yeah.
Kind of ignore that under all this silliness with the power. But yeah, chem is an amazing market right now. Like unoptimized in a pair making $170, that's crazy good. It's almost as much as the nuclear plant. So yeah, I guess don't focus too hard on it. Scrap your steel mills if you have to. For Fox should not be in steel mills, for sure.
Ryak is auto-selling $18 fuel, and GameSlayer is running out of stockpiles, consuming 1.6 per second. And similar situation for bobrooni.
Yeah, so GameSlayer should buy, ryak should stop auto-selling.
Yeah.
Yeah, bobrooni should buy too. Like $20 is cheap for fuel.
This is an opportunity to exploit this temporary monopoly in the fuel market. And there are a lot of consumption, water processors, chem refineries. This will go big.
Yeah, this is
harder for others.
There's a big opportunity.
It's expensive. Yeah.
So on an IO quake, it's like a Mars quake. Every price will short a bit, but random billings will also be destroyed. So what you want to do as soon as you hear the quake is you click on your first broken tile, hit the hotkey for repair. That means the icon for that will disappear, and if you keep clicking in the same position, you will now be on the next broken tile. So just keep clicking in the same place and click your repair hotkey, and you will pretty much instantly repair all the broken buildings. It's a nice trick. And yeah, look at if you had taken advantage as ryak, if you bought into fuel, you would have made so much money now. Like just to demonstrate that it's not an advanced thing or like a minor thing. If you bought into fuel, you could have 50k more cash, no problem.
A few moments ago, bobrooni disconnected from the game, unfortunately.
Ah, that's unfortunate. Yeah, he was in a competitive position for sure. Oh, GameSlayer is first to HG5 based on that chem money. And he's now making crazy fuel money too. Because nobody else really took advantage of the hole in the market. As he should have.
If ryak has been not selling and stockpiling fuel, he could have earned some more money to help against this, help earning in this situation.
ryak claiming a carbon and its cave tile and building chem refiners there. It should be solid. Chem should fetch a good price for the entire game. Oh, a majority buy. So, GameSlayer can't really afford it right now to finish it. And if he does put everything he has there, he still has to worry about ryak. And EMPs are expensive. Although he did just pay for one.
This fuel money is going to keep Gameslayer protected, I think. And ryak is not producing enough fuel to kill the market fast.
I mean, fuel money,
FoxBlazing?
you say, but he's minus 1.6 fuel because he's in both water processors and chem refiners. You should probably turn them off.
Successfully.
Yeah. So I don't think the idea was good from the first place. But if he wanted to finish the buy, he should not have bought that 14k EMP. 14k was a lot there. Anyway, after that, IO Quake prices have been pretty crazy. Having a lot of claims right now is a really good thing for Gameslayer. And optimizations are really good too. I would optimize fuel here. Like, there's still... Fuel shouldn't really cost more than 100. Just because of how good ion collectors are. Like, an ion collector gives you a lot of fuel. So if it costs 100, then it's a very profitable building. So there's no really... Like, if it's above $100, people have made a mistake in choosing their markets. Pretty much always true. We do see a lot of ion collectors now, though. I like that Fox overcommits into it, so we can be the one to take advantage of the high price.
Ryak just placed a pirate to probably to steal oxygen from bobrooni solar condensers. However, because Gameslayer was shipping aluminum and carbon, it's not doing what's intended to do.
Yeah.
You should always be careful about other shipments when you're using pirates.
Definitely. Yeah, I mean, Gameslayer just chose markets better than people, so he has a huge cash lead at this point. I'm not sure what other players should do. Like, they needed to handle the fuel and chem situation better, I think, or the power situation. You need to make money off one of those three. And the way to... Yeah, I guess we covered that, but the way to handle the power situation was to buy more goons. The way to handle the fuel situation was to buy it up when it was cheap and go into more ion collectors when you notice the trend of the price. But yeah, we're at this point now. Gameslayer is in charge. He chooses to attack FoxBlazing. It's a solid choice.
Ryak needs optimization centers. Everyone is in optimization centers for a while now. Like 2 optimizations done by Gameslayer. FoxBlazing has 2 ongoing. Ryak should build optimization center 2 or 1 or 2, probably 2, and start optimizing production.
Yeah. Buy them and mutiny other people's, preferably Gameslayers. Mutiny on optimization center when prices look like this is worth like a lot. Let's see, can we demonstrate the difference somehow? Not quite yet.
Ryak is about to take a D tech.
Oh yeah.
So
tick.
Yeah,
He could have.
shortly.
He should have cooked the books and he should have paid some down. You don't want to be in more than B. Okay, so quick educational side note. There's no direct comparison. But Gameslayer's optimized farms, although there's only a pair, makes more money than the quad of bobrooni. Like, optimizations are good. You should get them as early as possible by using mutinies. Ryak gets involved in Gameslayer's stock. Yeah, it's not a bad choice, I guess. He just needs to earn more money.
Yeah. This amount of debt is worrying. Because if Gameslayer wants to switch target and get into Ryak, Gameslayer will be able to take ryak down quite easily because of this amount of debt.
Yeah.
And if Gameslay succeeds, then it will be stock return for Gameslay. That said, FoxBlazing has been optimizing more aggressively than ryak has been, so Fox will be a better sub in the long run.
Yeah. And the craziness of this oxygen price, I think, is caused by FoxBlazing. He didn't really found any oxygen. And yeah, $400. Like, this makes liquid batteries and oxygen optimizations really game winning at this point. Nobody has it right now, though. And yeah, I was about to suggest this. Gameslay should buy into the free, cheap, not free, but the open stock that from ryak, because it's so cheap, because of the debt. Then if it looks like suddenly ryak has an edge over FoxBlazing, then he can buy ryak instead. And if FoxBlazing turns out to be the better target, he can just sell out of the stock and it will probably be worth more, because ryak has to pay down this debt. I think it might be too late for the move though, just because he's so close to the buy on Fox. But I like the move in general.
Auction
went
for too cheap for ryak.
Yeah, that was ridiculous. So these condensers are now making $450 a second, and then they're optimized twice. I think you want more optimizations in it. Yeah, nice call. So yeah, ryak has some profitable stuff going, but his base is looking pretty sad. He has committed 4 claims into steel, and steel has never really been a good market. He has 3 ion collectors, usually you want 2 or 3. But at this point, when you also have a stockpile of 500, you can move out of it to something better. Probably, well, I don't know. You really need oxygen.
Right now, electronics is a good market and water is a good market. And ryak only has 2 carbon tiles. I think this tile should be 2 carbon quarries and then just make electronics, or just build electronics over there.
Yeah, so you don't have to take advantage of the scientist bonus. You can just use quarries.
Gameslay takes FoxBlazing down. However, Gameslay is in D +1 debt, and ryak does have some stock secured. So if ryak manages to earn enough money in the short term, ryak may be able to buy that Gameslay.
Yeah, he might be able to. So, if you want to press your advantage here is that you got liquid batteries, because people forgot to bid for it. And you're the only one who's producing a surplus of oxygen. So the way to take advantage of that and turn it into a win is don't auto-sell it. Stockpile it, possibly even hack it. And like hit black market on other people's oxygen, mutiny other people's oxygen, or mutiny an optimization center and optimize oxygen. Like really press your advantage. I think that's one thing that could have gotten him a win here.
If we look at the colony, there's a single pleasure dome by Gameslay, which is earning a solid 246. And with virtual reality, 369. It's good, it's a really good tile. So if ryak notices it might be worth mutinying. Put a spy, check the goon, and mutiny.
I prefer a solar condenser mutiny. Well, I guess Gameslay doesn't have any solar condensers. No, it doesn't.
Yeah.
Alright then.
Now he has 2.
Yeah, now he has 2.
The engineers have advanced our production.
Let's see. Yeah, Gameslay had all the nice patents too. So, Tremors is going on right now. It reduces production on most things that are like secondary resources. It would be, yeah, I think it's an oxygen hack would have worked out really nicely. But I don't know, maybe it's too hindsighty. Like, it's hard to know. Because GameSlayer could at any point just scrap water processors and go into condensers.
Ryak has scrapped the chemical refineries, went into quarries, and now went aggressively into electronics factory, which is a good market.
Yeah. So what I like to see, I mean, I said this so many times, but I'll say it again. Imagine if you use this mutiny, or other mutinies too, mutinied away an optimization center, and already had perfect electronics. And you could also have some more in carbon. And when your production is this focused, and your optimization synergizes with it, you would make so much more money.
At this point, GameSlayer needs about 200k to buy a Ryak, and Ryak needs 250 or more for buying GameSlayer.
Yeah.
However, GameSlayer has a full sub earning solid $1,300 per second, so GameSlayer does have an edge here.
Yeah.
Ryak
Ryak
went aggressively into electronics, earning 200 per tile, which is really, really strong
It is.
compared to GameSlayer tiles.
And you should notice by now, oh, this game is gonna end soon, I have a stocked black market, I should use it. Like, I think maybe a mutiny on the Pleasure Dome would have swung this game for Ryak.
Yeah. Now,
Like, there's no, you shouldn't not use your black market that you have already paid for. Oh, it's also muley in carbon, I like that.
This is quite close. GameSlayer needs 50k, Ryak needs 100k.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe the mutiny would have done it.
GameSlayer has a buy.
And earlier optimizations would have done it, a hack would have done it.
Yeah.
There were ways for Ryak to win this. But yeah, GameSlayer takes it, well played to GameSlayer. I guess the best way to avoid the situation is to play the early game a bit better. Like, GameSlayer got most of the chem money, most of the fuel money. That's why he got so ahead. But yeah, very nice comeback attempt. Very nice comeback attempt.